Hello everyone! Today I will be doing the emoji challenge as a collab with the YouTuber Drawz and Doodlez. Now, for those of you who don't know, the emoji challenge is a challenge where you take a bunch of emojis and you turn them into a drawing. But today I decided to do a little bit of a twist on it, and I decided to do the emoji challenge with Mermay, which is for the month of May, you draw a bunch of mermaids, or mermen in this case. So, the emojis that we both chose was a crown emoji, a circling stars emoji, rose emoji, and a galaxy emoji. So, the first thing that came to mind for me was like some sort of like king with star powers, or something like that. But when I saw the pose I did, it reminded me of a waiter. So I turned it into a waiter instead. So for this drawing, I tried to include the emojis as best I could with certain elements of the piece. Like for the rose, I had it in his like waiter's uniform pocket. And with the crown emoji, I had that as like a pin on the suit, so like maybe it was like some sort of logo for the place he's a waiter for. And then for the circling stars, I had that be in the ice cream sundae that he's holding on the tray. So like maybe it's some sort of specialty that the restaurant does, and like they have these sort of ice cream sundaes that they have. And then for the galaxy one, I wasn't exactly sure what to do for that one, so I just had it be the background, and you'll see that later on. I draw the background, and I struggled with it for a little bit, but I think I got it to a place where I wanted it in the end. So, for this tuxedo, I tried really hard to be sure that the crown pin didn't get too covered in a bunch of dark grays, because there was a lot of gray around it, so I tried to be sure like that you could see it clearly. Same with the rose, because all these grays around it, it was really easy for the gray to rush over to that pin, and the pin's supposed to be a very light yellow, so tried to make sure that that looked good in the end. And for this piece, you'll notice that I use a lot of grays. And I think that was mainly just because a lot of the stuff in this drawing was gonna end up gray in some sort of way. Like, the collared shirt is white, but how do you shade in white if you need to, like, color in the shading and things like that? You use gray. What are you gonna do for a tuxedo that is close to black, or is a sort of gray color? You do it in gray. What do you do for a gray metallic tray? You do it in gray. So, I felt like that I tried to make sure that, like, the warm grays were next to the cool grays and not, like, warm gray next to warm gray sort of thing. Just to be sure that they looked different enough that you could, like, differentiate between them. And now I'm moving on to the background. The tail fin was surprisingly easy. I just did some very simple shading for that, and some very simple lighting. And for the galaxy, I felt like that was where I had the most trouble with for this piece. Like, the face and stuff was pretty simple, same with all the rest of the stuff, except for maybe a little bit of the shading for the ice cream sundaes. That was a little bit difficult, but for this part, I really had a little bit of trouble with at this part, because I was adding in Posca pens on top of my drawing. And for any of you that know Posca pens can be a little bit opaque. So if I was a little bit hasty with stuff, it could very easily just erase a huge chunk of the drawing, and I'd have to like really work at it to make sure that it got back to where it was. So, here you can see me coloring in some of the white that I added on just to make it look a little bit more like a galaxy. And you may notice that I switch back and forth between this one purple, and that's because that purple dried out. So yeah, this is what the final piece was. I actually think that it turned out really, really well in the end, but we just had a little bit of hiccups along the way. So if you guys liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. That'd be greatly appreciated. And with that, I hope y'all have a magnificent day, and I will see you all later.